Let's do this shit. After getting off the bus, I realized that the theater is actually light on traffic for once. As I walk up, I see strangely familiar car. Wait a minute. Yuri and the purple-haired woman walk out of the car and hug each other. Oh, her mom probably. I decide to blend it into what little crowd is here until the woman is gone. As I walk towards the movie theater, Yuri's looking around. I walk up towards her. When I see her, I can't help but give her a wide smile. I can't decide if it's because I'm anxious about our first proper date or if I'm just happy to see her. How about both? After having my favorite snack to seeing a lovely girl, everything unpleasant fades away, and I am once again in high spirits. What the? She got like a very casual clothes on now, not like a turtleneck. Huh. She gives a soft smile back and gentle wave. Hey Yuri, nice to see you again. Nice to see you too, Ike. She looks towards the theater. So, how was the drive here? I was reading this new book my mother recently gifted me. She shows me the cover, which features 4 girls in winter clothing with a Christmas tree in the background. Funny enough, it was just Christmas. I think I know what you're thinking. Yes, it's a Christmas story. I admit it feels a little unusual to read a story with that subject in summer. Despite the banal premise, this story is turning out to be a very enjoyable, albeit a short read. Wow, God, your big words, damn it. After finding out this was the author's first book, I was pleasantly surprised. Sounds like you had a comfy journey. Yes, for the most part. I did have quite a scare at one point. My mother had to abruptly stop when a passerby ran across the road in front of us. I don't know what could drive someone to run out in the middle of the street, but it must have been pretty important. By the time I looked up, the person was gone. I should probably steer this topic to safer readers, waters, whatever. I see. Well, I'm glad that you made it here all right. By the way, have you decided which movie you want to watch? She looks like she's going into deep thought. Well, I'm still contemplating the choices for the moment. She glances over at a few of the movie posters. She looks at 2 in particular. She tries to focus more on one and seems like she's almost straining herself to do so. The one she is trying to focus on is called Only Phantom. From the description, it looks like it's about a ghost trying to protect his only son and his mansion from being taken over by a group of mysterious men. There are probably some fights in it that are interesting. I think Yuri may like the horror vibes I'm getting from it. The other one that she glances at is a poster of... Oh. It's the movie with BDSM. I did not expect that. Maybe she didn't check the description underneath the poster and is basing it off the pictures alone. Yuri? She started to slightly bite her lower lip. Oh, I see her doing that. Yup. She looks really cute when she does that. I reach out my arm to touch her shoulder. I catch myself and remember that she was startled the last time I did that when she was in deep thought. Instead, I decide to step closer to her and point to the poster for Only Phantom. She stirs slightly, but doesn't jump like she did before. Oh yes, the Only Phantom looks intriguing. She seems to be genuine with this statement, although her face is slightly red. Alright, I'll grab the tickets then. I walk up to the counter and pay for both of our tickets. Maybe she did read the description after all. No. I'm probably missing the actual reason. I don't want to assume such things about her and her interests. When I walk back, she gives me a gentle smile. Shall we go in? Sure. Alright then. Damn. Fancy theater. We start walking towards the corridor leading to the theaters themselves. The scent of buttery popcorn fills my nose. My mouth waters as I look up at where they make food. They have a wide selection of snacks and meals. There's sweets like cotton candy and crepes. I still don't know how to pronounce that. While the iconic popcorn has multiple flavors. Yuri, didn't you say you like crepes? Can we just get that word out of here? Like, I don't know if I'm saying it right, so I feel stupid. I mean, I say a lot of words I probably didn't know that didn't make sense and aren't proper, but whatever, alright? Shut up. I do, but I don't feel like having it today. Okay. Then popcorn, maybe? Yuri ponders for a moment as we hear the kernels popping in a rhythm inside of a machine. Yes, preferably salty. Hope I won't make her salty too with some stupid blunder. We go up front and I pay for a large bucket of popcorn. On the way to the theater, I see a large group of women going to the other movie available. Jeez, I barely a guy among them. I probably made the right call by going with the ghost story. We walk to where our movie starts. Fortunately, this particular theater looks empty. Hey Mikey, do you want to sit in the back? Why do you want to sit in the back? I have a suspicion in the back of my mind that I want to be both confirmed and disproven at the same time. I think I know what he's thinking. In my experience, the speakers up front can be quite loud. Oh, I get you. We can do that. We sit in the middle of the last row, with Yuri to my right, whatever. As the camera moves to the scene of a mansion, we hear an old man narrate the story. He used to live in this house back when he was alive with his wife. He went on to build his fortune by starting up and expanding companies. At the end of their 30th anniversary, the man gave his wife a diamond-encrusted knife with a smooth platinum handle designed to be held comfortably in one hand. It's one of a kind. Just like you, my dear. Okay then. I look over at Yuri and I'm genuinely surprised at what I see. Her hands are held tightly to her chest, right over her heart. She cracks a brilliantly bright smile that glows in a more alluring way than any movie screen. My heart starts beating harder. Whatever. My breathing accelerates. My head feels like a wave of fuzziness is washing over me. I see her leaning forward slightly, smoothly parting her hair from her eyes as she looks towards the flashing screen. I see her eyes filled with the scene, and on a closer look, I notice that her eyes are a brilliantly deep violet. Well, everything's purple with her, okay? Everything is. They seem so bright and full of passion. They almost look like shining stars that I could make wishes upon. I slightly lean towards her and lay my right hand an inch away from her. Why are you gonna be that awkward already? As I get closer to her, the scent of jasmine oil and subtle hint of mint intoxicates me. Her lips are supple? I never heard people say supple. Are supple and have a slight amount of pink lipstick. Pink lipstick from Yuri? That's weird. I return my attention to the movie. As much as I love to stare at Yuri all day, I want to be able to talk about the movie after we watch it. The narrator continues to talk about the wife. She loved the diamond-encrusted knife with the elegant design and kept it in pristine condition. However, his wife later passed away, leaving behind her beloved knife. Not long after that, a group of men arrived at the man's house trying to have the land donated to them, which the man swiftly declined. Tension continued to rise between the father and the son as they were unable to cope with the loss of the woman who was a wife and a mother to them respectively. One day the old man's son walked into his father's office. The father confronted him and the son lashed out, throwing the chair he was sitting on, and stormed out of the office, never returning to it. The old man went after him. With a pointed finger, he spewed condemning words at his son as he left. Yuri raises her eyebrows as if she is reminiscing about something. That same day, as he was driving home, he was gunned down after being rear-ended on a back road. Suspecting that it was the group of mysterious men, he worried for his son despite the arguments and decided to protect him as best he could. After a while, on one dark and frosty night, the men cut the power to the mansion and broke into the family home while wearing animal masks. What the hell? What is this, Hotline Miami? While hiding from the invaders, the son is nearly found. As the music builds up, a door is nearly open, but the ghost distracts them. Yuri's feet are bouncing up and down slightly, her hands slightly shaking. I put an arm around her shoulder. For a moment, she stops moving altogether. Her shoulder and back tense up. Did I try it too soon? Yuri looks up at me as her face turns slightly red. Then she takes a deep breath as she smiles. Her breathing slows down as I can feel her shoulders. Well, I can feel her shoulders and back loosen up. Wait, she actually likes it? She returns her gaze back towards the movie. I crack a wide smile and breathe a slight sigh of relief. I return to watching the movie. At this point, I'm surprised of how much I like this movie so far. It might be just because I'm with Yuri, but the tension from trying to just stay alive is a lot more exciting than I thought it would be. Yuri looks like she is thoroughly enjoying it as well. He finds the knife in his parents' bedroom, grips it tightly, and tries to escape his home. As he finally manages to make it to the top of the stairs leading to the front hallway, he trips down the stairs. He lays on the floor as he tries to hide the knife as he is quickly surrounded by well-armed masked men. At this point, sirens are heard in the distance. They begin to surround him as one rushes up and points a gun to his head. The knife ends up falling out of his jacket, and one of the criminals picks it up. I hold my breath. The police burst through the door. The ghost then has to make a decision. One is pointing a gun at his son, while another has started to run away with the knife in his hand. At the end, he throws a vase at the one threatening his son, letting the criminal with the knife run away. I turn to Yuri and see how she's reacting. Her eyes begin to water. I don't know what to do. How are guys supposed to act in this situation? Did Yuri just become a ghost? Did she just become a ghost herself? Did you not just see how she just flew up as she disappeared? I pull Yuri in and hold her closer. Most of the men get away, but the son is saved. The father, while no one can see him, drifts towards his son's ear. You are the only phantom left on Earth that's tied to what has happened. Boom! Oh, he wasn't done yet. So live while you can, without holding on to something that can only hold you back. Boom! He fades away as both the son and Yuri starts crying. The criminals get away, but the police inform the young guy that they're tracking the criminal's vehicle. Wiping away the tears from his eyes, the son has a confident expression on his face as he listens. The movie cuts to a scene where he's talking with his girlfriend, reminiscing about his parents. The young guy recalls his father encouraging words, and the girl gives her an understanding smile, then a kiss. Things gets very steamy as a rather explicit scene comes on. Yuri begins to breathe incredibly heavy. Look at her now. I look over to her and see she's biting down hard on her lower lip. Just a few moments later, she stands up. I need a minute. She's horny.
What? What the fuck?
With this, she quickly walks out of the theater. The movie continues for a few minutes, and I'm getting concerned for her. I decide to check up on her. She was just sitting outside? Damn. Thought she was going to go to the bathroom or something. She's standing in the hallway, leaning against the wall with her arms behind her back. Her face is scarlet as she slows her breathing down. We make eye contact. She looks down and holds her hands tightly together. Hey, you alright? Yuri licks her lips for a moment. Oh, God. Things about to get weird, I think. Yeah, I was just startled at the inclusion of that scene at the end. Yeah, I get you. It took me by surprise as well. Yuri then glances at my lips for a split second, then lets out a deep sigh. Oh, God. I'm having a hard time pinpointing her exact intentions, but we should probably continue on with our date. Hey, you want to go walk around town? Yes, I could use some fresh air right now. Yuri's arms loosen up as she stops gripping her hands tightly together. And it's nighttime. At this point, it is turning to dusk outside with the lights of the city coming on and stars beginning to shine. We walk out of the movie theater, and a rather chilly breeze passes through my clothes. I notice that Yuri is starting to shiver a bit. I walk closer to her and offer her my arm. She smiles as she locks her arm with mine. This helps warm us both up somewhat as we walk around. A thought pops into my head. Hey, Yuri. She looks up at me with a slight yet glowing smile. Yes, Mikey? I kind of like this movie, but I remember that you looked like you were in deep thought at certain parts of it. She looks away and lets out a quiet sigh. I was. The movie actually reminded me of various aspects of my personal life. Oh. She places her left hand on the side of her face as she goes on. When the father and son were arguing with each other, it reminded me of how Natsuki and I get sometimes. Her eyes then widen with her cheeks breathing up. Not that we would get violent towards each other, of course. Yeah, I get you. When you are close to someone, sometimes you get into bigger fights that affect you more than you first think. Yuri's eyes light up. I notice that we end up walking a bit closer together. Something similar happens when my mom and I get into fights from time to time. She looks at me with my eyebrows slightly raised and her head tilted slightly into my right. May I ask about it? I tried to think of a way of explaining to her that I simply didn't like going out that much. She is more introverted. It's a bit risky, but I'd rather tell her the truth since I think she would understand where I'm coming from. During the school year, she told me to join a club and try to be more social. After a while, she ended up becoming more persistent with wanting me to go out and talk to people. I didn't feel right since I don't like being forced to do things. She told me at one point that I need to get out of the house more and do stuff away from home. Yuri holds me slightly tighter as another breeze passes by. She doesn't loosen her grip. I argued with her quite a bit, and things ended up a bit patchy between us. After she said that she would let me buy as much perfectly poofy paradises pancakes as I wanted. What the hell? When I went out for trips, I caved in. She chuckles. My, you really do love pancakes, don't you? Well, I don't love just any pancake. If it isn't quadruple peas pancakes, then it just isn't on the same level. Again, she chuckles softly. I understand the sentiment. I absolutely love oolong tea, and a lot of other teas simply aren't up to par, in my opinion. Oh, but back to the point you had earlier. It can be rather difficult to interact with new people and leave your comfort zone. Yeah, I've been telling her that. It started with small errands here and there, going around town at first. One day I ended up seeing Sayori and Monica not long ago after getting used to going out more. I believe I understand where you're coming from. I used to have a hard time interacting with others or even talking much when the topic was in literature. Things started to change once I joined the literature club. Getting to know the others helped me to learn how to communicate better. Although sometimes it felt like I took a step backwards when I had disagreements with Natsuki. She looks away. We ended up having some difficult fights, but over time we learned to accept our differences. Whenever we had a big fight, Natsuki usually made cupcakes and I made tea to apologize to each other. Now I think she is one of my closest friends. That sounds really nice, Yuri. I'm glad you have such close friends. I also learned how to appreciate conversations that were not as in-depth and complex. I have a habit of overthinking things and used to only aim for deep conversations with people, which typically meant that I had none except with my family. God, this shit's long. And now here I am, talking to you about something other than literature. Hulu has live sports. Joke in past mods. That's a joke in a past mod, okay? You'll get it if you see it. She seems to have grown a fair bit to get to where she is now. I don't mind deep conversations here and there. When I have a clue what's going on. You know, like when we talked about why the chicken crossed the road. It caught me off guard, but it is something that makes me think more than I normally do. My God. As we talk and walk around town, we end up looking at different sites from buildings and to monuments. We pass by the bookstore and see that they started putting up quotes about some of the books. One of them has a very ominous quote that I can't wrap my head around. Why are we still here? Just to suffer? Every night I can feel my leg and my arm, even my fingers. The body I've lost, the comrades I've lost. It won't stop hurting. It's like they're all still there. You feel it too, don't you? Sounds sad. This reminds me. So do you read horror novels? I tend to read those the most. But you know, I like a lot of things. Stories with deep... Okay, this is going to be the same thing as the original game. It's amazing what a writer could do to throw you for a loop. She suddenly goes silent as if something just occurred to her. Mikey, do you know what deja vu is? Like the song? Isn't it when you feel like you did something that never actually happened? Yes. That feeling washed over me just now. Whoa, same. Deja vu. I've just been in this place before. Higher on the street. Weird. We continue our walk and eventually have our conversation move back to the movie. What was your favorite part in the movie? Yuri pauses to think for a moment. It was probably when the Phantom saved his son from the criminals. I recall how she started to cry when the scene happened, especially when the Phantom told the son to let go of the past. I apologize for getting emotional. It's just that the movie reminds me of a poem I wrote quite a while ago. After seeing the ghost whisper to his son, I think I found an answer to a question that I've had for a long time. Oh, what is the question, if I might ask? Well, the past has great significance in shaping us into who we are, yet it can also shackle us. We lean more into each other. I have had feelings of, well, attachment to the past. I have some feelings of comfort when reflecting upon memories and what filled me with joy. However, I felt like a ghost who couldn't let go of the past, wishing to spend forever reminiscing. The memories, though, would only leave me feeling empty when I realized that they were forever gone. So I wondered, what could I do to stop feeling the void in my heart? I don't know. Yuri's face turns beet red as her voice quivered for a moment. Then I finally realized. She looks up at me. My face turns scarlet. Our history is important and should not be forgotten. However, Yuri parts her hair and my heart is racing. We should focus on making memories. A thought pops into my head and face the future with those we hold dear. I take her hand in mine. Oh my god, are they really? She seems to be taken aback, then smiles at me softly. I flick her back. At this point, the night is growing fairly cold. I would recommend we go inside somewhere to grab a bite to eat, but my wallet is as empty as Sayori's stomach normally is. We end up at the bus stop. Would you like to wait for the bus here? Yuri looks like she's about to suggest something else, but the wind starts to pick up more and storm clouds are forming. Yes, that's probably a good idea. We sit there enjoying each other's company. Hey, Mikey? She sits up more and looks at me from the other side. Yes, Yuri? Perhaps this is just me, but I enjoy just walking around even if we aren't doing anything in particular. She lets out her breath slowly. I think that when you are doing anything that doesn't require much focus, it allows for people to connect with each other just as much as when we do something extraordinary. It is nice when you could focus on others more than the activity itself. Yeah, I agree. Although it's nice when we can do things together to talk about later. I pause to think of something, but it can be nice to mix it up here and there. The bus ends up arriving after a few minutes. God damn it, back on the bus. We're still chatting. We still haven't gotten even close past this day, I don't think. Like, we're only at nighttime, and I think there's still more to this. We proceed to get on the empty bus as Yuri and I sit next to each other near the back. It starts drizzling somewhat, but nothing too intense. I hold her hand again as we look out the window, watching the rain fall. As she looks outside, she looks up towards the sky. When I see this kind of weather, sometimes I get curious. Is ours the only planet that has people that can experience this? What do you mean? Well, I just sometimes wonder if we are the only intelligent beings in the universe. The chances of there being life somewhere in the vast openness of space makes it seem that there must be at least a chance of it. In some of the stories I read, the main characters go out and explore the universe. They meet a variety of intelligent beings and new perspectives that they've learned from. From this intelligent life form, it may be a foreign concept, and perhaps a terrifying experience to see water falling from above. Look, I appreciate you calling me intelligent, but I'm not afraid of taking a shower, okay? She looks away, and I assume she rolls her eyes in an attempt of humor. Oh, stop it, you. But yeah, I guess if you've never seen or heard of it, it can be pretty shocking. She then looks at me, her brows slightly raised. Sometimes I feel like I'm an alien myself. This catches me by surprise. What do you mean by that? Although, as I said before, it has improved since I joined the literature club. Sometimes I still feel that I can have trouble connecting with people. Even when I try and understand myself and my feelings are alien to me. She begins to turn towards me more. She squeezes my hand gently. I just don't know if I could truly connect with people anymore. Years ago, I used to be made fun of for being different. People would make comments about me talking to others since I've always been somewhat shy. When people stopped trying to talk to me and instead tried to provoke me in order to have me react, I closed myself off more and more. It ended up in a loop of sorts. Yes, unfortunately, I'm still having trouble understanding myself, though, and these feelings. At this point, the wind is picking up, and it's starting to rain harder as we approach Yuri's stop. This is my stop. It has been wonderful talking to you today, Mikey. As she starts getting up to leave, I stop her momentarily. Hey, it's storming out there. I pull out my umbrella. Do you want me to walk you home? Plus, I want to try and better understand what she means. Are we still gonna talk more? God damn, this is so long. I don't want to end the conversation with her being left to feel the way she does. Why, thank you. It would be appreciated since I forgot my umbrella at home. We get off the bus as we walk towards Yuri's house, both of us underneath my umbrella. Umbrella. Hey, Yuri. We make eye contact. Yes? Taking a deep breath, I stop for a moment. You don't have to feel alone. I know that I haven't gone through everything you have, but you aren't alone anymore. Wait, I think he said this in the original game. She smiles at me while her cheeks turn rosy. Thank you. That means a lot to me. She takes a deep breath. You know, this reminds me of my favorite books. How a young princess is locked in a tower, dreaming of the world outside of her castle, but is always too shy to try and break free. She looks up at the stars and wants to leave, but is afraid of what waits outside of her walls. Then one day, an unlikely prince ends up out her window one day. At first, she's nervous as she interacted with many people, let alone someone who was so familiar to her. Over time, though, thoughts started to swirl in her head. Some nights were beyond restless, with dreams about the prince when he was away. One day, the prince asked her to accompany him outside the wall for an adventure. Oh my god, you know what? I can't. She just keeps going. Jesus. She wouldn't stop. I didn't even see my name in any of those. At this point, we are shoulder to shoulder, almost leaning in on each other. I don't entirely get what she means, but I feel that it's important. I just couldn't, man. I just couldn't read it anymore. This is just way too long. I need to stop the recording session after this, because this is way too long. Yuri, I look her straight in her eyes as we stand only inches apart under the umbrella. Stories are great and all, but remember to live yours as well. We can learn about many inspiring people with feelings we relate to. Just remember that even if the characters or stories or whatever end, we still have ours to write. It's the same thing for songs or movies or literature or what you have you. Fuck me. I'm just so fucking annoyed right now. I just want this to end now. I brush her hair from her face as she blushes bright red while her eyes light up. She ends up looking at me directly again, and we end up staring into each other's eyes. I feel my heart thumping out my chest as I feel the warmth of Yuri's face. This just feels right. Our heads slowly move closer together until we are just inches away from each other. Oh. It's Yuri's mom, isn't it? Yuri, it's cold outside. Come on in. You turn around and I see the purple-haired woman standing with the door open. Oh, yes, Mom. Yuri's face is completely flushed. I was gonna say flustered. Oh, is this your boyfriend? Mom! Yuri walks into her house quickly and with her head down. You seem familiar. Have I seen you before? I pull my brother down more. I don't think so, ma'am. I wave towards Yuri. Okay. Is there something we don't know here about Yuri's mom and MC in this mod? Have they ever met before, or is she like pretty much referring that maybe she saw him at the movie theater when she dropped Yuri off? I don't know. Bye, Yuri. Today was fun. See you tomorrow. Farewell, Mikey. She waves at me as I walk off before her mom can recognize me. I end up going back to the bus stop and catching the next bus. Greeted by my mom in the living room. So how'd your date go? Man, how'd you know it was a date? She giggles a bit. While I was cleaning your room, I saw that you left your computer on with a particular film on the screen. What? Wait, what? What could she have seen? The only Phantom didn't exactly focus on romance or anything like that, other than that one scene. What would make her jump to the conclusion that it was a date based solely in the move? Oh. Oh. Seriously?